Welcome back. The program is State Affairs on Splash 105.5 FM, the Integrity Station. I'm discussing with Honorable Femi Kehinde, author of the book Samuel Ladoke Akintola and the Eyes of History. The book is a vivid and detailed description of the life of Samuel Ladoke Akintola from his birth to his death. The book describes his complex life, his politics, and his relationship with Chief Obafemi Awolowo. S.L.A. Akintola in the Eyes of History is a historical narrative of Akintola as a hero and victim of his own principles and populism. A victim of his own principles and populism. Tell me more.
SLA was a victim of, like the Awara of Iwara, the late Obakazim, in an interview told me that SLA was a victim of vicious media propaganda. He didn't have the press.
But he was also fighting back in the media.
And he was fighting back because he believed in his own principles. The divide was this. SLA wanted a federalist approach to governance that will bring the Hausas, the Igbos, and the Yorubas, together. The action group started as a regional party, Egbe Omodudura. Just like the MPC that started as an Arewa something, led by Dr. Diko. His approach was to bring all these tendencies together, luckily having been a member of the Federal Parliament. Chief Obafemi Awolowo, you may say he was not a regional demigod, but Awolowo's interest was to develop the Western region to an international standard.
But he also wanted to do that for Nigeria. The reason he went to the center.
And by 1959, Awolowo had a dream, which he called flashes of inspiration. And he said he saw himself becoming the Prime Minister of Nigeria. So on the 3rd of November 1959, he addressed the Parliament at a valedictory section in Ibadan and left for Lagos to become a less powerful personality.
Was that his undoing?
That was the undoing.
Did he calculate well?
Well, altruistically, he calculated well that, all these things we have done in the Western region, perhaps we could replicate it in the entire broad spectrum of Nigeria. But politics was not like that because the British government had skewed politics and leadership favorably towards the North by numerical strength.
Awolowo should have known.
They had more members in the Parliament. And in 1959, Edmund, when the action group moved into the northern region to shop for more members to the Parliament, the action group government spent £10 million sterling to campaign. This money was borrowed from the NIPC of the Western region. The NIPC was using the funds of the Western Region Marketing Board. And in that election, Awolowo brought spectacular innovations using helicopter for campaigns and all sorts of things like that. What they would do, by the time the Awolowo helicopter would land on a particular field, they would have brought in cows to populate the field. And the action group campaigned vigorously in the northern region and the middle belt. But do you know that election was a fiasco? The action group didn't even make a seat. And that was why they call it Bakodaya. Bakodaya is 0.
Yeah.
So you will see that if Awolowo had stayed in the Western region, if we had maintained this feat, by 1957, the Western region government of Awolowo had its own ambassador in Great Britain, which they call Agent General, and the first Agent General was Emir Okorodudu. You know, if at the 15-acre Sinton Road, that was the residence of the Prime Minister of the Western region, has been taken over by the federal government. You understand? So, all these concepts, they travel, they see things. Awolowo went to Australia to bring this idea. Awolowo went to Israel to bring the idea of the farm settlements, you know, which they call the kibbutz system, through his Minister for Agriculture, Chief Akindeko. You know, if we had maintained a Western region of the Awolowo dream, and Awolowo as the vision driver had remained in office, because he still had one more year to go as Premier of the Western region, the Western region would have been an El Dorado.
But again, perhaps Awolowo calculated that since party is supreme, whoever becomes premier in his absence will always bend to the wishes of the party, which Akintola refused to do. Awolowo was the leader of the party.
Politics, Edmund, is dynamics, and there are intrigues. I told you that there are personalities that will be working for Awolowo and will be working for Akintola.
Was Akintola consumed by the lust for power?
Akintola was not even interested in the premiership of the Western region.
Yes, but by the time it fell on him, remember, before he even got there as the deputy, Bode Thomas had died.
Yes, he became the deputy leader by election. He defeated Atoppressed,
the
Shekiri man, at a strongly contested election. You see, but the contention of the leaders of the party was that since Bode Thomas was of the core Yoruba, it behoves that another core Yoruba should succeed Bode Thomas.
But Awolowo didn't want him as deputy.
Awolowo had no choice because the Lagos tendencies wanted SLA Akintola as the deputy leader of the party.
Was that when the problem started quietly?
Well, it could have started quietly, but not evidently.
Who did Akintola back in the election of the Nigerian youth movement? Akinsoya, right?
Yes.
No.
He backed Ernest Ikoli.
Who did Awolowo back?
Awolowo backed Ernest Ikoli. They were very amiable consorts. That even when Akinsoya lost that election, he described Awolowo and Akintola as misguided youths. But you see, politics had to change tune. When in 1961, the other official had to go the way of the Awolowo. Akintola reduced his salary to 1 penny.
Why did he do that?
Well, dynamism of politics.
He wanted to show I'm the premier.
Yes, I'm the premier.
At that point, he was ready to displace Awolowo.
No, is it dynamism of politics? Why was Alaafin Adeniran deposed?
Let's look at that story.
Why was he deposed? Is it not the same dynamism?
Did Bode Thomas offend the Alaafin?
Bode Thomas was a very consummate and brilliant lawyer. They established the first law partnership of Thomas. That is Bode Thomas, Williams, Rotimi Williams, and Fani Kayode. That was the first indigenous law firm that took over from the expatriate Ivan and Bona and all sort of things like that, which SLA followed in 1952 by establishing an indigenous law partnership of Samuel, that is his name, the Samuel Ladoke Akintola, Chris, and Michael. Chris is Chief Chris Ogunbanjo, who is almost about 100 years, whom I interviewed in the course of writing this book, and Michael Odesoya. The three of them formed a law partnership in 1952, and the partnership was dissolved in 1962. To go back to the Bode Thomas story, as a result of the Backfassing Constitution, taking over from the Richards Constitution, that was almost a tea party.
Yes.
Now brought in elites into governance. Itato Alaafin Adeniran Adeyemi had been chairman.
The second.
The father of our great Alaafin III. The Macpherson Constitution changed the dynamics, and Bode Thomas became the first
chairman of Divisional Council.
Of the Divisional Council. Don't forget that it was through Obafemi Awolowo that Bode Thomas discovered his roots to Oyo. It was through Obafemi Awolowo that Biodun Akerele discovered his roots to Oyo. Oyo's town were predominantly NCNC, led by Pa Afolabi. Now, at the first session on the 22nd of November, 1953, Alaafin, who had earlier been used to be chairman, now descended to be an ordinary member.
Due to constitutional reforms.
Due to the Macpherson Constitution. So when Bode Thomas came in, and all the members of the Divisional Council stood up in deference to greet him, Alaafin Adeniran Adeyemi II did not stand up. Culturally, he could not do that. Traditionally, he could also not do that because Bode Thomas was a chief under him, a traditional chief at that. And when he breathed in, a 35-year-old man, Bode Thomas, said, "Why were you sitting when I came in?"
Talking to
Alaafin Adeniran. He said, "Don't you know how to show respect?" Baba said, 84-year-old man, "Ṣé mi ló ń gbó mọ́ báwọn? Ẹ máa gbó lọ báwọn." And that was perhaps the turning point of the Western region.
Translate what you said in Yoruba.
Is it me that you are shouting out like that?
Or is it me you are backing out like that?
Let me use shout or backing.
I know, that's why I'm wondering, is it backing?
Backing. Then continue to back like that. And that story started. Shortly thereafter, he started to back and back and back.
What happened?
He was taken to Lagos on the 23rd of November, 1953. He died.
Backing? What happened? Was there a supernatural work? What did Alaafin do to him?
I'm not a mythical personality, but I know that following history, because his medical doctor, Dr. Majekodumi, in his book, said that he died of mental delirium.
He died the Alaafin at the time. He died.
He died the Alaafin at the time. The Alaafin was subsequently deposed. There was a Floyd Commission of Inquiry. Deposed the Alaafin under terrible circumstances. He was first taken to Iwoki, from later to Ilesha. When they wanted, from Ilesha, he was smuggled to Egate Street in Lagos, where he died in February 1960.
Was it a punishment for the death of Bode Thomas? Awolowo punished the Alaafin.
It was certainly a punishment. Is it because Bode Thomas was a major financier of the Action Group at inception? His own father was a very notable, Bode Thomas' father was a very notable Lagos aristocrat. The death of Bode Thomas certainly was a turning point in the history of the Western region and the Action Group conundrum.
You know, the story sometimes could be mysterious. I heard Alaafin lost his first son.
Yeah, there are mysteries in politics.
Awolowo lost his first son. Akintola lost his first daughter.
Oba Adesoji Aderemi lost his first son, Magistrate Dapo Aderemi. Awolowo lost his first son on Akintola's birthday on the 10th of July, 1963. Modele, Akintola's beloved daughter, also died.
Can you explain it?
You see, these are things that you may not be able to explain.
Politics can also be diabolical.
Politics could be diabolical. Politics could be dangerous.
They fought to finish.
Politics could be fight to finish because the struggle for power goes beyond the ethereal.
Before you go, the role played by their wives, Fadirera and H.I.D. Awolowo.
Fadirera, a nurse by profession, native of Igbajo, daughter of an Igbajo man, a retired policeman, studied nursing at the School of Nursing in Ogbomoso, was a very strong personality like his father. H.I.D. Awolowo, Mama of blessed memory too, was equally a strong personality on Obafemi Awolowo, who she married. She married Awolowo in December 1937, and Awolowo described Mama as a jewel of inestimable value. And as the wife of the premier, throughout, Awolowo did not live in government house. He lived in Okebola. And Mama Awolowo was also a trader in Gbagi, selling textiles. And she was a major distributor of Coca-Cola and some commodities. And she was, as the wife of the premier, entitled to some perquisites through this Coca-Cola and all sort of things. Alfred Iwani had brought Pepsi for the Western region. So when they left, she thought these largesse could continue. But Fadirera,
the wife of Akintola,
the strong wife of Akintola, rebuffed and resisted. You see that, look, these largesse should fall back on her. They were closed. When Awolowo was 50 on the 6th of March 1959, they wore the same dress in Ekene. When Abimbola was going to the UK to study, Mama gave her 50 pounds, saw her off to the airport on her way to Liverpool. But politics, people will say, you must not allow HID to continue to enjoy this. And that was where they now felt that Akintola, for allowing his wife to ask for this opportunity, was a sign of disloyalty. And don't forget that at that time, things were going on a fierce and dreary tunnel.
Did Fadirera tell her husband to stop going for meetings in Awolowo's house in Okebola? That Awolowo now should not come to the premier's house for meeting?
Fadirera, a strong woman,
she said that,
rebuffed her husband from going to Okebola for meetings. That if it were meetings concerning the affairs of the Western region, and you as the premier, the federal opposition leader, should come to the premier's lodge for meetings.
Awolowo did not take that easily.
Awolowo felt it was insulting, embarrassing, and amusing.
And Akintola was killed.
And Awolowo was killed.
In January 1965.
He was killed in January 1966.
66 rather.
By Captain Iwoboza of the Alamala Barracks in Abeokuta, who came, first picked Remi Fani-Kayode, took him to the premier's lodge. And he had a premonition that the army would strike. Aaron Wilson had told at the Parliament Ministers' Conference, Prime Minister's Conference in London, in Lagos, that there will be a strike. The military will take over the government. He had even offered Tafawa Balewa a safe asylum in one of the British frigates on the Atlantic. On the eve of the strike, Akintola and his aides went to Obilo to tell him that there was an ominous danger. But as Muslim, Tafawa Balewa rebuffed it. Obilo rebuffed it. And behold, on the 15th of January, they came, they struck, and they killed SLA Akintola. And that was a dangerous end to the politics of the First Republic.
Awolowo came out from prison and later became finance minister.
Yes. You see, Akintola lived for 56 years. Awolowo lived for 78 years. And in writing the story of Awolowo, there is no way you will not write the story of Akintola. In writing the story of Akintola, there will be no way you will not write the story of the other man. And Awolowo became Asiwaju of the Yoruba nation. He became, from prison, he became Federal Minister of Finance and Vice Chairman of the Federal Executive Council.
Some said he laughed last.
Well, history is dynamic. History is dynamic. You will see that Itato, when we had the UPA, we were a regional party. Now there is the APC that has a very broad spectrum, that has brought the North and the South together, and you will see that that was SLA Akintola's dream.
Wow, let's leave it at that. Honorable Femi Kehinde, thank you for featuring on State Affairs.
Edmund.
Thank you.
Thank you once again.
Thank you for coming. I implore you to read his book, Samuel Ladoke Akintola, In the Eyes of History, a book written by Femi Kehinde. You can also read another of his book, Of Rust and Gold, Snippets of History.
And the third one is coming on the 3rd of November.
I can't wait to read it.
Which is a short stroll along History Avenue. By the grace of God.
Keep writing.
Yeah. Thank you, Edmund.
The program is State Affairs. I'll be back after this break. Don't go away.